Hi everyone, this is Drew from Resin by Drew, and today I'm going to share with you a project that I'm starting. It's all to do with the great inside of a kitchen roll. You can use the inside of a toilet roll or kitchen roll or any cardboard roll similar. I've already made a start on it and I marked out each section. I measured it all out to be just less than 1 centimetre. I've painted them a very dark metallic anthracite colour, and I don't know if you can see, but I've just glittered the bottom of them, just dipped them in glue and glittered the bottom of them. They're going to be going into a mould by Moulds and Shapes, who is a fantastic company. They make wonderful moulds to use. They're my absolute favourite go-to moulds, but I can't decide at the moment which mould to use. It's either this one, which is a large round geode shape, or this one, which is a extra large plain round shape, or this one, which is a new one and I haven't yet used, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hexagonal shape. I am thinking about the possibility of making the end product into a clock, so that could have some bearing on which mould I use. Now obviously I'm just starting out my channel, but if I had some followers then I could ask you what you thought, but at the moment that I don't have that privilege, so I'm going to have to make the decision myself and hope that anyone that sees the video will agree that I made the right decision for whatever reason. Anyway, I'm going to have a quick think about which mould to use. The shapes will go, they will go round or petal shape. I can shape them into whatever shape I want. I could even make them into heart shapes. Let's have a look. Into sort of a heart shape, something like that. I'm doing it over my mould now and just giving myself more work there to clean up afterwards. But I could do some sort of heart shape like that. Bit more difficult now that the tube's been painted, but anyway, whatever shape I choose to do, basically I'll be putting the cardboard tube face down so that the glitter is face down, so that you'll see that as the end result. Hopefully all of them will sit just below the surface of my mould, and I'll be filling them with glitters and paints and beads and different things, and then filling in the outline around them, and then when I turn it over at the end, you'll see the glitter on the other side as well as all the things that I filled it out with. So I might have a little fiddle around and see which tray I decide to choose. Which is what I really need to do for my next step. Once I've decided that, I will mix my resin, which I will do off camera. There's nothing more boring than watching someone mix resin. So I'll mix my resin off camera and I'll be back soon with resin mixed, decision made on which mould to use, and then we'll start putting the cardboard shapes in and crack on from there. Hi, welcome back. First of all, I'm sorry if I suddenly sound like Darth Vader, but I have now got my breathing mask on. I know a lot of people tend to not wear them when they're pouring resin or doing the voiceover part, but I do take my health very seriously. I'm crafting crazy, but I don't think there's a craft in this world worth risking your health for. So I might have to voice over the video, but we'll see how we go. So I do apologise for that. First of all, I've mixed up 300 mils of resin, and I just want a base layer. I finally decided, you'll notice, I finally decided to go with the very large round mould. And again, the mould is from Moulds and Shapes. And I just want a thin base layer spread along the bottom so that I can put my glittered toilet roll stroke kitchen roll shapes in place, and it'll just start to cure and hold them in place so that I can then start to put the colours of the glitters and other things that I want to add to them. I won't need to wait for it to fully cure, but I will need to wait for it to cure somewhat. I've had my Part A resin, sat in a hot bath for 5 minutes. I didn't get in the bath with it, but I had it in the hot bath, and that's just to help with the bubbles. So I've just now got a very thin layer along the bottom. I might just have to, excuse me, I might just need to crop this a little bit. I do not think my table is quite straight today for some reason. So I'm just going to now find roughly where the centre of the mould is. It's about 39 centimetres in diameter. So I thought it would be nice to do round circle shape, seeing as the mould is a circle. So we'll place the first one there, I think. Just that way a touch. There we go. About right. Let's see. Go down a fraction. Just a touch. And then of course I've now put that in upside down, so that needs turning around. As I mentioned before, I want the glitter to be on the underside of the mould, so that's what we'll see. The underside of the mould will be the right side when we're finished. So I'm now going to start placing them around. Starting from the outside into the middle, or from the middle to the outside would be easier, but we'll see how we go. We'll see how we go. I want them to try and stay nice and round. I need to make them a little bit more round as we go. Let me just grab a cloth for my hands. Some of them I might need to trim as we go as well. But we'll see how we go along. See if I can just make them a little bit more round, although I don't want to be doing that over the top of the mould really, because I don't want the glitter to be spreading. Be a bit of a tedious job to watch and follow along with, I'm afraid, so I think we might have to speed this little part up. But I'll put a few in place and then I'll speed things up and we'll see where we're up to. I haven't decided for definite yet, but I think I'm going to go with blacks and golds. I think I mentioned before, I might turn the finished product into a clock. Not quite sure yet. Let's start again with the next row. Trying to get them so they don't stick up above the mould too much. I do want them to kind of sit flush with the top of the mould when they're finished, which means I'm having to trim some of them down. I think my measuring wasn't 100% accurate when I was cutting them out. You know what they say? What does they say? Measure twice, cut once, something along those lines. It's clearly something I didn't do that time. We go round. Keep them as round as possible. Probably mark somehow which was my centre one to make it easier to follow. That's my centre one there. If I'm on my third row round. It's actually harder than it looks when they're not 100% round. I've seen them done in all shapes. I've seen them done in heart shapes, in teardrop shapes. Possibilities really are endless. It'd be nice to do them in some different shapes, especially coming to Valentine's Day. Heart shapes would be nice for Valentine's Day, I think. And can move back round to the start. Come on, a little bit more round. Okay. Okay, next row. I'll probably only get one more row in after this one. Keep having to remind myself where the centre is. At least I've got my paint covered nails covered up today with the gloves. You do have to excuse me on my videos. I'm very often got paint on my nails. It's not I promise it's not that my nails are dirty. You can always see what colours I've been painting or what I've been doing, because it's not just resin craft that I do. I do a lot of painting work and paper craft as well. I do a lot of dot painting, mandala painting, things like that. So you can always see what colour palette I've been using just by taking a look at my hands there. I know the other day I've been using something bright red and I'd got it all over my hands, and I thought, no, that probably isn't a very good look for the first YouTube video you plan on putting out there. So I actually put it off by a day because I couldn't scrub the paint off. I think we'll probably get one more row around the outside now. Let's see. Try and get them in without displacing the others too much. Trying to keep them flat. Some gaps. Maybe get some smaller ones to fill in those gaps. Maybe push the others down a little because I don't want too big a gaps. Just shuffle them around a little. Up in my hands there.
see bits of fluff on some from the kitchen towels where they were resting for the glitter and the paint and the glue to dry. That'll be covered. You won't see that when they're all finished, so that's not an issue at all. Not worried about that. Keep going, keeping them as round as possible. Putting them in. And just there under. Down. Just want to try and get one more in around here if I can. I don't know if that's going to work. Might be displacing these too much. Let's have a look, see what I can do. It's probably better to leave it like that, to be honest. Try and keep them as round as possible. Right, okay, so I think I'm going to leave it like that. I'm going to run over this with a heat gun now. Very gentle heat gun. I don't like applying heat to my moulds, but I just need the resin to be bubble free. So I'm just going to apply a very gentle heat using an embossing heat tool. And then I'm going to leave this to cure up for a little while. It doesn't need to fully cure, and then I can come back and we can have a look at the colours, textures, glitters and things that I'll be using to put into these. So I'll be back shortly.
Okay, well, I'm back for part 2 of the video now, where we're going to fill in the spaces with a whole multitude of glitters and different things. But I thought it might be nice just in the centre one to put a few of these little tiny seed beads. I've got some dark enough. I think I've got some that might work. Those ones should work. Quite holographic purple, gold and black. What I'll do to begin with is just in the very, very centre, just put a tiny bit of glitter, and this way hopefully I can avoid bubbles in them. Just put a tiny bit of resin, put a tiny bit of resin, and then I can just scoop a few out. I'll go with this one too. Let's do this one. I can try and mix those in. I want to try and get them obviously so that they're without bubbles. I think I'm just going to do the beads in the very centre. I didn't realise how much of a wide choice I was going to have to do the rest with, so I have got probably 10, maybe 11 cups on the go here with different things in. Some of the things I've got are I've got a couple of Arteza acrylic paints. I haven't mixed the resin in the things yet. I find it's best with the acrylic paints not to do it until last minute, because the acrylic paints does tend to speed up the reaction time of the resin. It does tend to go hard usually before I'm ready for it. I've got some gold leaf foil, some black foil or foil leaf, got some black and gold glitter, some gold glitter. A lot of the colours I have actually, that they are my own colours that I mix myself. I prefer to mix colours myself by using several other colours, so a lot of them are custom to me colours kind of thing. I'll just put these beads away before I end up with something like 20,000 seed beads all over the floor. Move those out of the way. I'll just start to mix these up. I want to leave those two till last because they are the paints, but I'll just start mixing the glitter up. I've mixed myself another 250 mils of resin. I might need more. Might have too much, I'm not sure yet. It's very difficult to judge how much resin I actually need. The pots, I know the cups look as if they're dirty, but they're not. I just like to reuse my cups as many times as possible before I throw them away. But I do find once they've had glitter or the gold leaf in, then the best thing for them is to throw them away anyway at that point.
Don't think I've mixed up quite enough resin at this point.
I want to
have to mix up.
Just do a couple and see how far
some more left in the
each of these
cup.
goes, because I obviously want a couple of the same
with the acrylic paint again.
A couple of the same colours in each of the circles that I've got. So I want to see how far each of the colours will go. So we'll start with glitters, but I've got 3 different glitters.
Back to mixing some more resin.
So we'll start with the gold glitter. I'm just going to randomly spread them. So I'll be quiet while I'm doing this. I'll not keep chattering away. And then if it comes to it, I can always do a time lapse and speed things up for you, so that you're not having to watch dreadfully as I pour these bit by bit by bit. Just grab a tissue there. Just got a little bit of a dribble. Probably help if I've got a cloth. now finally time. This has dried, cured up. It's now finally time to unmold this and see how the piece is looking. So here goes. Just loosen the edges. Got a little bit of overpour on the edges just there. I'll take care of that. I'm looking forward to seeing what it actually looks like, and my plan at the moment is still to use it to turn it into a clock. Such a large piece, I just need to go a little bit slowly around the edge first. Making a mess. Put it flat, you'll see it at the same time as I do, so there's no cheating then. We get to see the result together. Hoping I'm going to be pleased with it. I am quite looking forward to seeing it. Just go all around the edge first. The gloves that I'm wearing don't help, but they do help to protect the piece from any finger marks if it's not quite fully cured up, which it is still a little bit warm, but that's because it's on a heat mat. Here we go. Here's for the grand unveiling. Just trying to be gentle with my mould at the same time. You can see it is such a large mould. Let's go this way a little bit. It's a case of doing it bit by bit. I like the look of what I can see so far. My plan at the moment is still to turn it into a clock, I think, as well. There we go. Nice little bit. Wow. Now I'm really pleased with that. The colours have come out great. I can see the glitter. I can see the holographic in the centre that I put in there. I am really happy with that. As I said, I've just got a little bit of overspill just on the back to deal with there. And then I think I'm going to turn it into a clock. But I do need to order a movement for the clock. And I need to decide what to do regarding numbers, whether I put numbers on or buy numbers or put a dial in the middle, which I think really would be a shame because it would cover up some of the lovely design. But I'll try a few different things and I will come back with a final picture or a final update once it is turned into a clock, so keep an eye out for that part. Bye for now.